So overview of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then how Bhagavatam is Sakshat, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, from the lotus feet till the Mukuta, everything, how Padma Purana has described, that we have heard. And then the whole Bhagavatam in 1 hour, Sankshipta Bhagavatam, 1 hour, that we have heard. And then first canto of Bhagavatam, second canto, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, sixth canto, and then first to sixth canto summary, and then seventh canto, eighth canto, ninth canto. Yeah, ninth canto. And today will be the last episode for the ninth canto. We'll be completing the ninth canto today. So ninth canto is about Ishanukata, right? When the Lord has appeared in the Surya Vamsha and in Chandra Vamsha. So we have heard about the Surya Vamsha and how Lord Ramachandra appeared in Surya Vamsha. And then after that, we were hearing about Chandra Vamsha. And in Chandra Vamsha, we have heard about Soma and then Buddha and then Pururava. And from Pururava and Urvashi, the 5 sons were born, and amongst them, the Vijaya, and Vijaya's son, the descendant of the Vijaya, Gadi, right? Gadi's daughter is Satyavati. Satyavati got married to Ruchika. And then there, Jamadagni and Parashurama. So all that we have heard. Today we will hear about Yayati. Yayati and Puru, Yadu, Rantideva. Yeah, Rantideva. And how Srila Sukadeva Goswami can't wait and rushes to speak about Bhagavatam and gives the prelude of Bhagavatam even in the 9th canto. So that we are going to hear today. Yes, dear devotees. So I am going to bring up the PowerPoint and we can go ahead and start. 9th canto. Chandravamsha. Yeah. So, yeah, this episode. Okay, the screen will be good for you. Yeah, so this is, we have heard about Vijaya, Gadi, Satyavati, all that, right? Now, today, we will hear a little bit about Nahusha. Nahusha's son is Yayati, and then the descendants of Yayati. Yeah, that we will hear today. Yeah, all that is good. So, Nahusha. Not a great beginning again, as in the last one, in regards to the Buddha. Nahusha, see, in Vritrasura Charita, if you remember Vritrasura Charita, yeah, there, Indra, after killing Vritrasura, because of the Brahmahatya, an old lady, Indra is afflicted by this Brahmahatya, where in the form of this old lady affected by tuberculosis was affecting Indra. So because of the Brahmahatya, Indra had to do atonement. So he goes to Manas Sarovara, and then in the stem of the lotus flower, there he was hiding and then doing atonement, if you remember that, right? That's from Vritrasura Charita. So during this period, the Indra throne is empty. The throne of Indra is empty in Swargaloka. That's vacant. So at that time, Nahusha was called upon and asked to rule in place of Indra, to occupy this place of Indra. So Nahusha was called and he agreed to rule. He was ruling, but he said, Along with this Indraloka, I want Indra's wife also, Nahusha. Yes, he said that. And Indra's wife, she didn't know how to get out of this Nahusha's plot. So she says, okay, if the sages carry you in palanquin and bring you to me, then okay, I will marry you. So Nahusha asks sages to carry him in the palanquin, which he shouldn't be asking. He's after all Kshatriya, and they're all sages. They are worshipable, right? But still, the sages were forced to do so, so they were doing it. And as the sages were carrying Nahusha, he started behaving very rudely. And those sages, Agastya was there too, got angry, and then he cursed Nahusha to become a python. Yeah. In this way, Nahusha falls down from heaven, head down, and becomes python. So that is Nahusha. And now the throne is still empty. It's vacant there, right? So Nahusha's son Yayati was called upon to come and rule. So that's how Yayati came into picture. But here, dear devotees, the lesson, we have seen time and again how that the position and power, vinashakale viparita buddhi, what it says is viparita buddhi. Yeah. Vinashakale viparita buddhi. When it is preceding the time of downfall comes the proud. Yeah, the proud precedes the downfall. The pride precedes the downfall. So out of this unmada of the power, prestige, and position, also because of the lusty desires that Nahusha had. Yeah. So this is time and again a lesson from Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam is heard about, is supposed to be heard by all the human beings. And the human beings have different kind of tendencies, right? So time and again, Nahusha and Pururava and Shaubhari Muni, all of them, the lessons from Bhagavatam of how lust and pride can make a person fall down. So that is a lesson from Nahusha of how a position, pride, and which resulted in disrespectful of the sages, can make somebody fall down. Especially when the sages are disrespected, it just indicates that somebody's fall down is imminent. Yeah. So this is again, we have heard this also. Indra. Yeah. Indra, he disrespected his spiritual master Brihaspati. Same in the episode of that is Vritrasura. This is the same lesson there. How this is an indicator for a person. If the thoughts are not so respectful about the sages or saintly people, then that is an indicator for us to set right ourselves. Yeah, because those thoughts precede the downfall. So that's Nahusha. And then Yayati. So Yayati's story is like this. There are not too many slides. Yayati and Devayani. Okay. So, yeah, not too many slides. We'll hold here. Mother Bhavani and Lord Shiva. Yeah. So, Yayati. Nahusha's son is Yayati. And when we talk about Yayati, we have to know about Devayani, who is his wife, Yayati's wife. And the story about Devayani is this. Devayani was the daughter of Shukracharya. and she was friends with Sarmishta, and she was princess of the king. I blank on these names. Yeah, I can't recall his name. But Sarmishta is a princess. Okay, so Devayani and Sarmishta and all their friends, they wanted to just go for recreation, and they wanted to bath in a cooling pond. So they were bathing, and they put their clothing aside and they were bathing. And just then, there at the bank, Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, they were going on a bull on the Nandi. Huh? So out of respect for them, they quickly wanted to grab their clothes and cover themselves. So then, just at the time, Devayani, who is the daughter of Sukracharya, accidentally she took the clothes of Sarmishta. Yeah, in that hurry, she just grabbed clothes of Sarmishta and she just wrapped those clothes around her. Sarmishta got very angry with this, and Sarmishta said, "I am princess. Huh? I am princess. We are Kshatriyas. I am a Kshatriya Putrika. And you are, after all, a daughter of a Brahmana. Yeah? And because my father gives the livelihood for you and dakshina for you, the Brahmanas, that's why you survive. So your survival, the Brahmana survival, is dependent upon us, the Kshatriyas. So how dare you take my clothes, huh?" Sarmishta says those words to Devayani. Sarmishta is speaking as if she is the leader and representative of whole Kshatriya, the whole in Varnashramas, the Kshatriya Varna is there, right? So Sarmishta was speaking as if she is representing all the Kshatriyas, and she speaks like that. We, the Kshatriyas, have to give you dakshina, and because of you, the Brahmanas, are at the mercy of the Kshatriyas for your livelihood. Sarmishta was talking like that. That was pretty harsh. Devayani, and she did not, she didn't keep quiet too. She gave back equally. She said, what are you thinking about yourself, huh? What are you Kshatriyas? We Brahmanas, if we do not guide you Kshatriyas, you will not be able to even rule the kingdom. Yeah. So we are the head of the body. You are, after all, the hands of the body. You are Kshatriyas. We are Brahmanas. So Devayani says that. So in this way, back and forth, Sarmishta and Devayani, they appoint themselves as the representatives of Kshatriya and Brahmanas, and they exchange this heated argument. So this is what is going on, dear devotees, with Sarmishta and Devayani. And yeah, that's about Sarmishta, Devayani. But how is that relevant to us? How is that pertinent to us? That tendency. Yeah. Sarmishta and Devayani, of course, they may be a Brahmana, a daughter in Brahmana family, and a Kshatriya Putrika, Brahmana Putrika. Yeah, but the tendency to claim that entitlement, claiming. Oh, have you heard about this, dear devotees? In Guru Giri and Guru Bhogi, yeah, as opposed to Guru Nishtha. These are essentials for us to hear, for us, the sadhakas. The tendency, the thought, how can this thought process trick us? So Guru Bhogi means who bhoga is to enjoy, right? So who enjoys the prestige, the position, and the respect that is given to Guru. And we wonder what? Do we really do that? Say if a guru is a very well-known, famous guru, or has a lot of disciples, or famous for something, for some reason famous, uh, so a disciple of that particular guru, even subtly, praises that guru, and in the mind, wanting attention to one's own self in the name of guru. Putting guru, naam ke vaste talking about guru, putting guru in front, but wanting the recognition and the fame and the spotlight for one's own subtle enjoyment. In the name of guru, you get all the attention to yourself, recognition to yourself. Yeah, as a disciple of that guru, because you are the disciple of that famous guru, famous for whatever reason. So you want to get that attention and enjoy that famous thing. Guru Bhogi. Guru Bhogi. Subtle tendency, dear devotee. Especially this can happen with those disciples whose guru is known for some reason or other, scholarly or knowledgeable, or many devotee, many disciples, or what, any reason. The disciples of that particular guru have to be really careful about that, really careful about that tendency. That's Guru Bhogi. In the name of Guru, you take all that bhogi enjoyment. That's a big trap. And one may think, oh, I am a disciple of that guru. And in fact, that guru may be so advanced, elevated sadhu. That guru may be a sadhu. But this chela, this disciple, who is adopting this kind of mentality, oh, my guru, bada guru, yeah, yes, I'm talking about that big guru. I am a disciple of that big guru. I'm a follower of that big guru. Yeah, you see. So attracting attention for one's own self in the name of that guru is Guru Bhogi. That is a subtle enjoyment. Do you remember this? Yeah. Where did that come? Maharaj Ambarisha. Or somewhere. Or maybe probably in the evening reading, evening sangha. It is like drinking the water in the shower when you are doing the fasting. That was the example we have heard in one of the readings. So, yeah, I think this is how Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict in the introduction of Chaitanya Charitamrita, if I'm not wrong. We have heard that there. How Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict for sannyasis, and he could not tolerate any kind of sense enjoyment for the sannyasis. So that's the context. But in this case, we are clear, right? So that's Guru Bhogi. The other one is Guru Giri. In the name of gurus, forming groups in the name of gurus, Guru Giri. My guru is superior than yours. My guru is better than yours. Very neophytic thinking, very small thinking. So, but that is present. That is present. That tendency of thinking is present. To some extent, to little or a larger extent, that can be present. So we have to be watchful of that. That Guru Giri. So my guru, your guru, my guru is better than your guru, your better, all that. That is bhakti in passion, bhinnatvam. Yeah. So that is Guru Giri and then Guru Bhogi. So in this Guru Giri and Guru Bhogi, the bhakti is so external and is just caught up at the passionate level. And then they take the entitlement. My guru is better than your guru. What are we trying to say here? That I am better than you. Huh? in the name of Guru. So that we have to be careful. So when the bhakti is caught up externally like that, then the thinking can be trapped in Guru Bhogi and Guru Giri. Those are the traps, dear devotees. That is all external traps. As opposed to that, what is our internal light? What are we instructed to have? Guru Nishtha. Guru Nishtha is very internal. It is not so loud like Guru Bhogi. My Guru is so and so. It's not loud like that. Guru Nishtha is very quiet and internal. It's not external. It is quiet. It is deep. Guru Nishtha is very deeply rooted with loving relationship to one's own Guru Jana, one's own Guru. Deeply rooted. This deeply rooted shelter, this will be the fuel for the Nama Seva. So this is very internal. Guru Nishtha is having the Nishtha in the loving relationship and instruction of Sri Guru and the Seva given by Sri Guru. And the foremost of all the Seva is Nam Seva. So it is Guru Nishtha that we are instructed to have, which is very internal. And Guru Nishtha is the bija for the Nam Ruchi, which is the fountainhead of Jivadaya and Vaishnava Seva. So that sacred is that Guru Nishtha, and that internal it is, and that potent it is. Yeah. And they are pretty much anchored in Guru Tattva. So as opposed to the Guru Bhogi and Guru Giri, where their vision is very external and are caught up at personal level, yeah, in a passionate way. So those are essential things. Guru Nishtha as opposed to Guru Bhogi and Guru Giri. Here Sarmishta and Devayani, pretty clearly they were very external, right? They took upon the whole entitlement. One self-appointed herself as a representative of Kshatriya, and the other one as Brahmana, a representative of Brahmana, and they started arguing. Yeah, Brahmanas, we are better than you, each one of them arguing like that. That is the Guru Giri tendency. And Guru Bhogi tendency also. Sarmishta may be a Kshatriya Putrika, but how she is trying to enjoy the position of a Kshatriya. And same is the case with Devayani. Yeah, so those are the ones. So yeah, so that episode has happened. And what happened is this got bigger. This fight got bigger. And Sarmishta, the Kshatriya Putrika, yeah, she grabbed the clothes back from Devayani and she put her in the well, in a dark well, and then left the place. So Devayani was in the well and she didn't have any clothing on, and she was in the dark well, and she was asking for help. She was shouting for help. That's when Yayati was passing by. He was the king, and as usual, they do the hunting, and right? So he was passing by and he heard Devayani crying for help from the well. So Yayati gives his upper cloth to Devayani, and she covers herself, and Yayati gives his hand to Devayani to pick her up from the well. So in this way, Devayani is rescued from the well by the hand of Yayati, and Yayati gives his upper cloth for her clothing. So Devayani says, since you held my hand, so would you please accept me as your wife? But in those days, the Kshatriya, a king can accept a girl from Kshatriya, Varna, but not from a Brahmana, because generally these Brahmanas are worshipable for Kshatriyas. So that's why he was hesitant. Yayati was hesitant, since Devayani is she's a Brahmana Putrika. But since Devayani has asked for this, and Yayati also got attracted, they got married. Okay. They got married, yes. And now Devayani, she goes to Shukracharya and narrates this story of how Sarmishta has insulted her, and those words of how she put down the Brahmana, all the Brahmanas, his father and all the Brahmanas, how Sarmishta has put down all those words. Devayani, she says all that to Shukracharya. Then Shukracharya, he gets furious. He was thinking, oh, why did I take up this family priest position for this Vrishyasringa? I think that's the name of the king. Yeah, the father of Sarmishta, if I'm not wrong. Vrishyasringa. Let's just go with that. So Shukracharya gets angry hearing this. And by this time, Sarmishta also narrated to her father there, the king. And the king, he gets very worried and he gets very anxious. He gets scared that Shukracharya may curse him and his daughter. So he comes running to Shukracharya to beg his pardon before Shukracharya curses. So he comes and he comes and he says, oh, so sorry, Shukracharya. I have just heard about what has happened with these girls there. So sorry. Please do not curse Sarmishta or me. And so whatever you think Sarmishta should do in order to atone her behavior, so you please tell. Then Shukracharya, he thinks and he says, okay, I will ask my daughter Devayani. Whatever Devayani wants Sarmishta to do, she should do it. Then this king says, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, definitely. He has no other choice but to say that. He said, okay, sure. She will do that. And this is one thing, dear devotees. Here, Sarmishta and Devayani, it could have just been to their level only. And when it comes to our parents and children, right? Sometimes children, they can just say, sometimes they can just say unbelievable things. They can just say it. And that talk of the child can create a distance and quarrel between the parents if they get into that. So the wise and mature parents, what would they do? They just keep child's talk as child's talk only, but not take up the child's talk and apply it to the parents and then quarrel with the parents, right? That is not so mature. Shukracharya. So it wasn't a very mature of Shukracharya to just, he could have done better. Yeah, to keep this quarrel just whatever has happened to that level only, instead of bringing it up big and then bringing it to this level. So that's one thing, just to keep that in mind. And what happened after that? So Shukracharya, So Sukracharya said to Devayani, okay, Devayani, you can ask whatever from Sarmishta as a revenge, as a revenge for what was done to you. Ask what you want from her. So when a child is not behaving maturely, then the parent is supposed to teach and discipline. But Sukracharya didn't seem to be doing that way. So what does Devayani say? Devayani, she says, okay, now that I got married with Yayati, I will be going to his place. I want Sarmishta to come with me as my maid servant. So she can do paricharya for me. She can be my servant there. I want her to be a servant for lifetime, as a maid servant for lifetime. Devayani. So that's what she asked. And now Sarmishta, she is a princess. She couldn't even tolerate when her clothes were taken by so-called lower class, the Brahmanas. She considered Brahmanas as dependent on Kshatriyas. So she could not tolerate when her clothes were taken by somebody who were dependent on her, the Brahmanas. But now she has to be maid servant for the very same Brahmanas that she has insulted. Yeah. So our rage and pride sometimes, in Telugu there is a saying, "Tana kopame tana shatru, tana shantame tana kuraksha." So in English it's like this: "Tana kopame tana shatru." The greatest enemy is one's anger. One's anger is their own enemy. So in this way, she was angry. She did not think of what consequences would be for her decisions and action based on the anger. She didn't think twice. So what anger can do? Anger and pride, they're all a package deal of passion. And passion, when we give up to that passion, anger and pride, then what goes around comes around. It will come back. It will come back. There will be untoward effects. So the lesson is that not that we would not be subjected to anger and pride, because we are in the modes, these impulses, we are in the very waters of the modes, what to say. So they are there. These impulses, they come, they knock the door. But being aware of that, and then the intelligence should take over. That's the difference, right? For a bhakta who is getting steadier, their intelligence will be big, not their mind. For those who are still in anardha nivritti, their mind is big, intelligence is weak. Intelligence is shastra here. When the mind is pushing with passion, causing pride and anger, intelligence, if it is big enough and says, oh yeah, this is pride, this is anger, this should calm down. If the intelligence voice goes bigger and then controls mind, then the devotee is said to be moving towards nishta. Yeah. And if it is just the mind going up and down and big, and intelligence is weaker, it is still in the phase of anardha nivritti. So our focus is to get this intelligence bigger and stronger. Shastra, sadhu vakya, that volume should go up big, so the mind can be guided and controlled. Yeah, that's Devayani, Sarmishta. Yeah, they got married. Devayani and Yayati goes to Yayati's kingdom, and Sarmishta also goes along with her. And there, before they go there, Sukracharya, he he brings Yayati aside and says, I know, Yayati, you are a Kshatriya. My daughter is a Brahmani. But Sarmishta is also coming with you. And Sarmishta is a Kshatriya. So, yes, you both are compatible for marriage. But remember, your wife is Devayani. So do not try to get into any relationship with Sarmishta. Says that. Sukracharya says that. Okay, they leave. And there, after going to Yayati's kingdom, as expected, Sarmishta, Devayani had sons. But Sarmishta also wanted sons. Sarmishta is just a maid servant. So, but she wanted to have sons from Yayati. So she goes and requests Yayati to please impregnate her and give her sons too, since she's also from a Kshatriya family. Yayati, he remembers Shukracharya's words, but he nevertheless gives sons, impregnates Sarmishta also, thinking that this is the will of the providence. So that's when Shukracharya comes and says, so Devayani goes to Sukracharya and she tells the whole thing. Yeah, father, yes, Sarmishta, she is my maid servant. She came with us and now she had this relationship with my husband and she's pregnant. So this is what your son-in-law has done, Yayati. So Sukracharya comes and he's very angry, and he curses Yayati to become old and invalid man. So that's Yayati all of a sudden becoming old and invalid. So after cursing Sukracharya, Sukracharya thinks, oh, what did I do? My daughter is young and I cursed my son-in-law to be old and invalid. So this is going to affect my daughter only. He realizes that. Again, the anger, What can anger do? The whole cascade. Buddhinasha. Right? Smriti Bhramso Buddhinasha. The whole cascade that is described in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Kamisha Krodesha. This is the contemplation of the objects that gives rise to kama, and then when it is not fulfilled, it's krodha, the wrath, and buddhinasha. So when krodhat bhavati sammoha buddhinashana. Yeah. So in this way, the effect of krodhat bhavati sammoha buddhinasha. When there is anger, then there is delusion, and this causes the buddhinasha. It nashana, destruction of buddhi, intelligence. The effect of anger again, the impulsive anger, what can it do? So Sukracharya realizes this. Then Yayati also pleads to please forgive. Then Sukracharya says, okay, you have these sons, you have your sons, right? So you can ask one of your sons to receive your old age. You can exchange your old age with one of your sons. But I cannot make you young as such, but you can exchange with one of your sons. And after some time, and whenever you want, then you can take back your old age. So Sukracharya says that. And Yayati has these sons, right? Yayati, this is Pururava, Urvashi. Yayati also has sons, Yayati and okay. Here it's not listed here. But Yayati also has sons, especially he has 3 sons, actually, a total of 5 sons, I think. One is Puru, second one is Yadu. Puru is the oldest, youngest of all. Yadu is the oldest, and there are 3 other sons. Yeah, altogether, I think 5 sons are there. So Yayati, he goes and asks his sons, can you please take my old age? I still have some desires to enjoy. So can you please take my old age? Father is going and asking the sons, what can this anger and lust to do? Huh? What can it make people talk and do? So Yayati, he goes and asks the sons. So the first son is Yadu. Yadu does not accept the proposal to take his old age, because Yadu, he knows that Supreme Personality of Godhead is going to appear in his dynasty. So if he takes up this old age, he will be delaying the appearance of the Lord. Yeah, that's why he would not agree for this proposal of taking the old age from his father. So that is selfless reason. Yeah, so that is Yadu. And the other 3 sons, they did not know, Bhagavatam says, they did not know, they did not know what is dharma, so they could not accept the proposal too. But Puru, the youngest of all, Puru agreed to accept the old age of his father, Yayati. Then Yayati says this thing, dear devotees. Uttamaschintitam kuryat proktakari tu madhyamaham adamo ashraddaya kuryat akarto charitam pituhu. Here, Uttamaschintam kuryat. He's talking about different kinds of sons. Huh? The best of the sons, Uttamas, is who would act upon the father's desire even before the father says anything. So the son, knowing the heart of the father, would do it right away. That's the best son, Uttama's son. Even before the father says it, son would know the heart of the father and does it. And Proktakari tu Madhyama. The son that doesn't really know the heart of the father, but does it only when the father says to do, that is Madhyama. Okay, the second class. Adamo Ashraddaya Kuryat. And the third class is when the father is asking something, the son says it, but son does it, but not really perfectly, not like the second class one who does it after asking. Even after asking, he does it imperfectly. That is the third class. And the fourth class is Akarto Charitam Pituhu. The fourth class one is even after asking, then even after father asks something, the son wouldn't do anything. That's the fourth class. This son and father, right? In a Bhagavatam, we know when husband and wife or son and father comes, there comes, the Guru and Sishya. This Srila Prabhupada also has mentioned. Yeah. So the first class disciple is that who knows the heart of Guru, the mood of Guru, the heart of Guru, and then just does what is pleasing to Guru. That is Uttama Sishya. Even before the Guru says what he wants, then a disciple would know it and he does it. It is possible because Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Kuriya Aikya. When a disciple has his Guru in his chitta, then they would know. They would know what the Guru wants and they would just do it. That's the first class disciple. Second class is only after the Guru says what he wants, then the disciple does it well. That's second class. And the third one is after Guru says what he wants, what needs to be done, and thoda kuch karna. Okay, have done a little bit, imperfectly, not so well. That's the third class. And the fourth class one is even after Guru's instruction, if somebody is not acting upon it, that's fourth class. Fourth class disciple. And is Guru going to lose anything at all with this? Do they really need anything from Sishya? Not really. Not at all. They don't. It is in the benefit of Sishya. So the reciprocation of the Sishya is in his own benefit. How he reciprocates reflects what his submission is. And proportionate to the submission will be the revelation. So Guru is not going to get a whole lot here. If at all there is any benefit that is being done here, that is for Sishya. So those are the disciples, different kinds of disciples. So that's Yayati. And after some time, Yayati, so Yayati takes this youth from Puru. He enjoys his youth. He enjoys with Devayani for a long period of time, 1,000 years, 10,000 years. And again, all of a sudden, it occurs to him, alas, what have I been doing? Yeah, same as Pururava and Saubhari Muni. Yeah. Then he calls Yayati and says the story of he-goat and she-goat. An allegorical story, as Narada said that too. Who is that? Prachina Barishat, right? So Yayati says this story to his wife. You know, Yayati, once upon a time there was a he-goat, and then he married a she-goat, and then this he-goat, basically his own story of what happened to him, Yayati and Sarmishta, and how the father of the she-goat was mad and he cursed the he-goat to become old, and then this he-goat went to the sun and asked for the youth, and finally after many years this he-goat, the male goat, started thinking how he wasted his life. So this is my story, Devayani. I'm fed up with this. I think these senses, Yayati, his realizations, these are very nice, and dear devotees. He's saying, the senses are never satiated. Can a fire be put off when you are pouring ghee onto that? So the senses cannot be satiated just by giving the sense objects. So this is enough of it. And I want to go to Vanaprastha. Yeah, time to go for Vanaprastha. Devayani, what do you say? Devayani says, yeah, by that time Devayani also says yes. Yes to the Vanaprastha. So in that way, Yayati, he gives back the youth that he received from Puru, and he was very happy and pleased with Puru, his son, that he gave his youth. So he gives the major portion of his empire to Puru and a little bit to other sons also, and then retires to Vanaprastha. So that is the story of Yayati. But this is really from Yayati. If we say Yayati, then this is a good take-home point from Yayati. These desires, sense gratification, and when we say senses, not only the 5 senses, but the 6th sense mind. Gratification of these senses they are never satiated unless we voluntarily cease from it. Dear devotees, this is why we have these regulations in bhakti. And unless we voluntarily cease, they are going to consume us. they're going to consume us and our precious lifetime and energy. So by diverting our time and energy in bhakti, by engaging in bhakti to the Lord, this is how we retract the senses from these sense objects. But that has to be done voluntarily. And it's best to do happily because it's liberation. Not being pulled by sense objects is a liberation. And once somebody experiences the happiness in that, then they will know, oh, there is so much of happiness in not being pulled by the sense objects. Yeah. So, yeah, voluntarily ceasing from sense gratification by engaging the thought, time, and the body in bhakti. Yayati. These are good ones too. These are good ones, dear devotees. Who is the happiest person? Who is not envious of any. They have no reason to be unhappy. When somebody does not have envy, there's no reason to be unhappy. Envy is not being happy when not being happy when others are recognized, right? Not being happy if they have something that they like. Yeah. So if somebody is non-envious, then there is no reason for them to be unhappy. They are not in competition with anybody, so they're always happy. And for materialists, supreme sense gratification is difficult to give up, though invalid. This is so important. This is so true. Even though the body is giving up, they still have this tendency to enjoy. That's not easy to give up at all, unless the tendency is engaged in bhakti. It is very difficult to give up the enjoying tendency. So that's why for materialists, sense gratification is difficult to give up. These are all Yayati's realization. And senses are very powerful. Even the wise get bewildered. Yeah. And we have already discussed this. After contemplating all these things, he accepts Vanaprastha. He takes up Vanaprastha and performs the Bhakti Yoga. So, there were realizations of Saubhari Muni, realizations of Pururava, realizations of Yayati, saying that we have burnt our fingers here, putting in the fire. You, please don't burn your fingers. These are our realizations. They're saying that. So, from Yayati, this is the take-home point. Voluntarily cease from sense gratification by investing your time, energy, and body in bhakti. Okay, this we have already discussed. Yes. How Yayati has meditated on Vasudeva. That is very wonderful. And Devayani also followed. That's about Yayati. Now coming to Puru. Remember the Puru? Puru is the youngest one who took the old age of his father, Yayati. So now Puru is young again. So Puru is known for this specific thing, that he gave his youth to his father. And in the dynasty of Puru, Dushmanta, a great king named Dushmanta was there. And coming from India, I have heard more as Shakuntala Dushyanta, but it's actually Dushmanta. Okay. All of you might have heard about Shakuntala Dushyanta story. That's the same Dushmanta. So that Dushmanta belongs to this Puru dynasty. So this Dushyanta or Dushmanta, again, once upon a time, he goes for hunting and then happens to see Shakuntala in the hermitage of a Muni, Kanva Muni, I think. Yes, yeah, Kanva Muni. And Dushmanta gets attracted to Shakuntala. But he thinks, Dushmanta, how come I am getting attracted to this lady who may be the daughter of a Brahmana? I'm a Kshatriya. I'm a very righteous person. If I am getting attracted to this lady, probably this lady is not a Brahmana, but a Kshatriya. So then this Dushmanta comes to Shakuntala and then reveals his heart. That Shakuntala says, yes, actually, I am a Kshatriya. I'm not a Brahmana. I am just being raised by Kanva Muni. So that way, Dushmanta, he asks Shakuntala's hand for marriage, and he says, can I marry you in a Gandharva style? Gandharva style is just marry with verbal consent. There is nobody around, no ceremony and no witness. That's Gandharva style. So that's the Gandharva marriage he gets with Shakuntala. So Dushmanta and Shakuntala gets married in the Gandharva way. And then after that, Dushmanta, he had to go back to his kingdom. And Shakuntala, meanwhile, she stays back and she gives birth to a son called Bharata. He is the King Bharata, not the Bharata, Jada Bharata, three Bharatas, not that Bharata, but he is the King Bharata. The Bharata, the king, the country, name of our country, Bharata, Desha, is from this King Bharata. So he's the son. Bharata is the son of Shakuntala and Dushmanta. Bharata, Maharaj Bharata was very, very powerful. He performed 55 Ashwamedha Yajnas at the bank of Ganga, 78 Ashwamedha Yajnas at the bank of Yamuna. And he has surpassed the opulence of all the demigods. And even the demons used to hide in Rasatala in fear of Bharata Maharaj, like that. So that's Bharata Maharaj. And there is a little information about Bharadwaja here. This Bharata Maharaj, there was, again, this story of Brihaspati. Yeah. This Brihaspati begets a child in the womb of a lady forcefully in an illicit way. Not the greatest story again. But that particular son is not cared by Brihaspati or the mother. So this particular son was raised by Bharadwaja, right? Raised by, I think, Gandharvas, if I'm not wrong. And so Bharata Maharaj, when he was performing the sacrifice, this particular son was given to Bharata Maharaj. Yeah. And this particular son given by the Gandharvas is the Bharadwaja Rishi. He is the Bharadwaja Rishi. In this way, Bharadwaja is the son of Bharata Maharaj. He also comes in this lineage. That's just FYI. Okay, that is Bharata Maharaj Bharadwaj. Now comes the story of Ranti Deva. Dear devotees, this is, we are almost getting to the closure. Ranti Deva. Ranti Deva is a king in this dynasty, Soma dynasty, Chandravamsha. This Ranti Deva is a king. He was fasting. He fasted for about 41 days, like that. And then when he was about to break the fast, eat something, then a Brahmana comes. So he gives away that. He gives away what he was going to eat. And then he was about to take some water. And then a Chandala comes. And he gives half of that water away. He was about to take the last little bit of water that is left over, and then the dog eater comes. So he gives that water also away. In other words, he gives all this away, not caring for his life. Not caring for his life. And so Rantideva, he says, after he gave away this food and water like this, all these three people who came as Brahmana, Chandala, and then a dog eater like that, they were Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. They wanted to test Rantideva. They were very pleased upon Rantideva's compassion. And Rantideva speaks these words, dear devotees. Nakamaye aham gatimeshwarat param ashtati yuktam apunarbhavam vam artim prapatye akila deha bhajam antastito yena bhavanti adukkaha. Very beautiful one. Very similar to Lord Shiva's. Lord Shiva, just before he was going to drink poison, he says very similar thing to Mother Bhavani, that taking the arti away of all these jivas is the topmost worship of the Lord in the heart. That's what Lord Shiva says there to Mother Bhavani. And one more, Vidura says this when he Maitreya, when he meets Maitreya, right? Vidura says, Janasya Krishnat Vimukasya Daivat Adharmashilasya Sudhukhitasya Anugrahayena Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya. Very wonderful devotees. In this session, I personally feel like this particular topic about Rantideva, and this topic is a crown jewel of today's topic. So here, Vidura is saying, here Rantideva is saying, Nakamaye aham gatim ishwarat param. Nakamaye, I don't desire aham gatim ishwarat param. I am not desiring my destination to Ishwarat Param, back to the spiritual abode. I am not desiring my destiny to go back to the spiritual abode. Ashtarti yuktam apunarbhavam va. I am not desiring the siddhis that Ashtanga Yogi gets. And I am not desiring apunarbhavam va, not the liberation too. Artim prapatti akila deha bhajam. What I am desiring is Artim prapatti akila deha bhajam. I am desiring to take away all the miseries of all the living entities. Antastito yena bhavanti adukkaha. And this is Rantideva's prayer. And antastito yena bhavanti dukkaha. And this would be pleasing to the Lord. So Rantideva, this is his desire. Not him going back to Godhead, not the Ashtasiddhis, and not the liberation. Same prayer by Prahlad Maharaj also. He said, I am not so much concerned about myself, my Lord. I can happily be in the ocean singing your nectarian glories. I am not affected by any modes. I can be happily here. But I am very much concerned about these mudhas who are in this ocean of modes. That's Prahlad Maharaj. And what did Vidura say? Janasya Krishnat Vimukasya Daivat. They're thinking, dear devotees, the compassion that they have, the Jiva Daya that they have, especially in this verse, please see, Janasya Krishnat Vimukasya Daivat Adharmasilasya Sudukhitasya. These Janas, all these Jivas, they are Sudukhitasya. They are very miserable. Why are they miserable? Adharmashilasya. Because their Shila, their character is Adharma. Their conduct is Adharma. Why is there Adharma there? Because Daivat, they were in the effect of illusory energy. And why are they in the illusory energy? Janasya Krishna's Vimukasya. They are Vimukha to Krishna. Because they are Vimukha to Krishna, turned away from Krishna, then they are falling in the Daivi Maya, and their conduct has become Adharmashilasya, and that's why they are Sudukkitasya. And they do not know why they are Sudukkitasya. And they do not know why they are miserable. Why they are having these miseries. Why are they being burnt up with these miseries? They do not know it. And that's why Anugraha yena charanti nunam, to give anugraha, to bestow mercy upon them. Charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. Charanti nunam, wander all over. Charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. Anugraha, in order to show mercy to all these bhutani, all these living entities. Charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. The people of Janardana, they wander around to give anugraha to all these living entities that are in miserable condition. They wander around to give mercy to the living entities by giving Krishna. Anugrahayena charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. The people of Janardana wander all over to give mercy to these living entities who are in miseries. Srila Prabhupada. Very much suitable for Srila Prabhupada. The whole, especially this Western world, everybody Krishnasya vimukhat. Adharmashilasya sudukkitasya. What to speak of Western world? It's the same thing everywhere. Everybody is Krishna's vimukhat. And he was anugrahayena charanti nunam. He was wandering everywhere. He was traveling everywhere. Bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. So these people of Janardana, the people, godly men, they wander, they travel and preach to give, to make all these living entities, jivas, Krishnasya samukhat, from Krishnasya vimukhat to Krishnasya samukhat. So this is jivadaya. This is compassion. Where is the strength for them to do this kind of jivadaya? If we take example of Srila Prabhupada, our recent Acharya, how did he do the Acharya? What kind of miracle did he do? And how was that possible? That was the question asked to Srila Prabhupada himself. And the answer he gave was the second chapter in Bhagavad Gita. He quoted this one. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahushakahi anantasya buddhayo avyavasayanam. Srila Prabhupada said, the purport of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in that particular verse has stated that, and he also says, Srila Narottama Das Thakur is there. Chittete kuriya aikya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chittete kuriya aikya. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that himself, how the whole thing was possible. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chittete kuriya aikya. We were talking about Guru Nishta, right? In the very beginning, how that is a bija for Namaruchi, Krishna Priti, Jivadaya. This is exactly. This is what Srila Prabhupada has said it and done it. Yeah. So this is Jivadaya, dear devotees. This is Jivadaya. Why is Prahlad Maharaj? How come his Jivadaya is over? It's pouring out so much. Prahlad Maharaja. He says, I'm not going to come. I am not so much concerned about myself. I'm good here. I can just sing your glories. But I'm concerned with about everybody else. How is it that they naturally feel like that? Where is the strength that is coming from? Prahlada Maharaj was Govinda Parirambita. He didn't even know how his body was being maintained, how he was getting nourished, because he was so much internally absorbed in the Smarana. Krishna Rati. So that is where the strength comes from for the Jivadaya, for the compassion. Yeah. And how can we get there? Srila Prabhupada already said that, right? Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Srila Narottama Das Thakuras, Chittete Kuriyakya. And when our bhakti is like this, these are jewel-like qualities. This much compassion. How does that come? Same Prahlad Maharaj again said this, yeah. Yasya asti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunair tatra samasate suraha. All the qualities will come when somebody is doing akinchana bhakti of Bhagavan. Yeah. Yes, dear devotees, that's Ranti Deva. Yeah, that's beautiful, right? Now we feel like, yes, we are in Bhagavatam. Until now, yes, we have heard something about and this king and that king. Yeah, and this is just wrapping down. That's Rantideva, the glorious Rantideva. And in his descendants are Jarasandha, Shantanu, and by this time, don't have to elaborate much on Shantanu and Pandavas, how Pandavas came from Shantanu, right? How they are descendants. Shantanu and Satyavati, right? And then Vichitravirya, and Pandu, right? And after that, I'm just cutting down the whole thing since we are, all of us know. Then Dhritarashtra and Pandu, right? And from Pandu, all these Pandavas, the 5 sons, Pandu, through Kunti and Madri with the help of the demigods. That Kunti Devi invoked the mantras. She invoked the mantras of different demigods, and that's how Pandu could get these 5 sons, the Pandavas. This is on this side. Whose side? The Puru Rantideva and Ajamida, and then Shantanu Pandava's side. And on the other side, remember Yadu dynasty? That son of Yayati Yadu is there, right? On the Yadu side. That's where Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is going to appear from Yadu dynasty. And now by this time, Sukadeva Goswami could not wait anymore. He quickly wrapped up the 9th canto. He just mentioned the names of the kings, as we have heard in the 9th canto, but a little bit about Ambarisha, and a little bit about Rantideva. And so here and there, he gave a little more detailed information about some kings, but rest of the kings, he just quickly mentioned the names. And now he can't wait to get to speak about the Bhagavan who is going to appear in the Yadu dynasty. So he says 3 points, dear devotees, and that would be the end of our of the Katha today. This is beautiful. Sukadeva Goswami is saying, oh, Parikshit, King Parikshit, now I am going to describe about Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. I can't believe, dear devotees, our Bhagavad Pravaha is bringing us to 10th canto. So, okay, Sukadeva Goswami says, I'm going to describe about this Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is coming in the Yadu dynasty, and he goes about glorification of Yadu dynasty. Okay, Varnayami Mahapunyam, Sarva Papa Haram Rinam, Yador Vamsam Naraha, Shrutva Sarva Papai Pramuchyate. Just by hearing about the Supreme Lord who has appeared in this Yadu dynasty, Sarva Papai Pramuchyate, all the sins will go away. Yeah, good. But he says 3 more specific things. This, I'll show you, you will know. This is 1, reasons for Krishna appearance, result of hearing about Krishna. and pastimes, Krishna's beauty. Yeah, that's it. These 4 points, we are going to wind down. We will relish these 4 points. Yeah. Because here comes the asvadana of guna of the Lord. Dear devotees, this is our Lord, Lord Krishna. Sukadeva Goswami is saying the reason for Lord Krishna's appearance. Kalau janisyamananam dukkha shoka tamonudam anugrahaya bhaktanam supunyam vyatanot yashaha. Sukadeva Goswami says, Lord Krishna, kalau janisyamananam, just for the jana that is going to come in Kali Yuga, for the people in Kali Yuga, thinking for the people in Kali Yuga, in order to get rid of their dukkha, shoka, tamo, their sorrow, their misery, and their ignorance, in order to get rid of this sorrow, misery, and ignorance of Kali Yuga jivas, Lord Krishna has been thinking, and in Dwapar Yuga he has descended, and anugrahaya bhaktanam supunyam vyatanod yashaha. So just by the thought of Lord Krishna who has appeared in Dwapar Yuga, all the Kali Yuga jivas, they can get rid of dukkha, shoka, and tamo, the ignorance. That's Sukadeva Goswami saying. Prabhupada has really beautifully said it as an extension of translation itself. Prabhupada says, in the brackets it says, how does that happen? Just by thinking of Krishna, the dukkham, shokam, and tamogunam of the Kali Yuga jivas is being eradicated. How? Srila Prabhupada says, because Lord Krishna in Dwapar Yuga, he has appeared and he instructed Bhagavad Gita. So for those who are receiving the instructions of Lord Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, their dukkha, their shoka, and their tamoguna will go away. Isn't that so, dear devotees? We have just recently had the overview of Bhagavad Gita, right? How beautifully the Lord is describing different modes there and the influence of those modes. He's clearly saying, if you're feeling miserable, if you're behaving like this, if you're thinking like this, then you are in this mode. Yeah. And he describes all those 3 modes in detail in the last 3 chapters. Yeah. 14, 16, and 17 chapters. He describes that. That is dukkha. That is shoka, tamoguna. And after that, yeah, he has described that, right? Then what do I do, Krishna? And for that, he gave the remedy also. He said, these are Daivihesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam evaye prapatyante maya yetam tarantite. The modes that I have described, they are Daivihesha gunamayi, they are Daivi maya. And you will not be able to cross over yourself. So mam evaye prapatyante, simply take prapati of me, and maya etam tarantite, I'll cross you over. Lord Krishna, he himself, for the Kali Yuga jivas, he was thinking about us. He knew that we will be in the effect, in the influence of these modes. So that's why he already said this ahead of time, that this will be the modes, and this is how you are going to feel, this is how you are going to behave, and it's very difficult to get over those modes, so you have to do prapatti. How can we do prapatti, Krishna? This is the same thing Arjuna also had in the very beginning. So he had to say, Karpanya doshopahat swabhava prachamitvam dharma sammuda chetaha. Sishyaste sadimam tvam prapannam. So you have to do Sishyaste sadimam tvam prapannam. To who? Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Upadikshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Go to the tattvadarshi guru. Do the service to the tattvadarshi guru. And then ask the questions. In this way, you get the tattva jnana. And then what happens as a result of that? when you serve a Tattvadarshi Guru and receive the instructions for him, man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vashyasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. By becoming my devotee, by thinking about me, so that Tattvadarshi Guru will teach you how to worship me, how to think about me. He will tell you about me in Tattva. Yeah. So in that way, man mana bhava, mat bhakto, you become my devotee, you think of me, you worship me, you will come to me, and this is guaranteed. Lord Krishna is saying, Mame vaishyasi satyam te, satyam te. This is the truth I'm speaking. You will come to me. Unbelievable. Lord Krishna himself spoke all this in the very beginning of Kali Yuga, thinking of Kali Yuga Jivas, thinking for them, feeling compassionate for them that they are going to be in miseries. He gave all this ahead of time in Bhagavad Gita. This is how dukkha shoka tamonudam, just by thinking of the Lord. Thinking of the Lord and taking his instructions of what he said in Gita just for us. He was thinking about us ahead of time, even before we could think of ourselves. That's the karuna of the Lord. This is guna asvadana. And there was no reason for the Lord to come in and to rescue us. We were never thinking about him, but he was thinking about us. He wanted to see how he can end the material existence for us. He wanted to see how he can bring us out of dukkha shoka tamo. That's why he appeared. This is causeless mercy. He doesn't have to, right? That's why Lord Krishna appeared. And what happens when we hear about this sweet Lord? Yeah. Yasmin satkarne piyushe yashastirvare sakrat shrotranjalir upasprishya dhunote karma vasanam. Beautiful. Dhunote karma vasanam. It says that as we hear about this sweet Lord Krishna, we get so much attracted and addicted to him that we are, dhunote is washed away. Our karma vasana is washed away. Our inclination for anything material gets washed off. We are not very much interested or inclined to really interact with the modes. So beautiful, dear devotees. Daivihesha gunamayi. They are insurmountable. Modes are insurmountable. But the power of Krishna Katha is so much that we are not inclined to interact with the modes. Dhunote karma vasanam. There is no vasana to do any karma. Only vasana to do bhakti. Bhakti bhaja. That is the power of Krishna Katha. Hearing Krishna. Hearing about Krishna. Hearing from Krishna. Krishna Katha. So we have heard about Karuna of the Lord. The reason for his appearance. He can't stop thinking about us. And that's why the Bhagavad Gita came, and we have heard about how addicting the Krishna Katha is, that we are not inclined to have karma vasana. And next comes how pleasing and charming he is. Snigdha smite ikshito udarair vakyair vikramalilaya nrulokam ramayam asham bhutya sarvanga ramyaya. Snigdha smite, his smile is very pleasing. You know, Madhurashtakam. Madhuram, madhuram, adharam, madhuram. His smile is pleasing. Snigdha smite. Snigdha smite ikshito udarair, very magnanimous glance. And vakyair vikramalilaya, the words of his vikramalilaya, pastimes, they are also very pleasing. And nrulokam ramayam asha murtya sarvangaramyaya. Murtya, his murti, his transcendental form, sarvangaramyaya. From his lotus feet till his mukuta, everything, The whole transcendental form is Sarvangaramyaya, very charming, pleasing. So everything about the Lord is pleasing to the humanity. That is about Rupa Varnana. So far, this is Rupa Asvadana, this is Guna Asvadana. Yeah. And the last one. This is also Rupa. How this is before entering into the 10th canto. This is a prelude of 10th canto. And this description is about, we will hear so many of this in the 10th canto. How beautiful is this charming Lord. His face, his earrings, his cheeks, his smile, his garland. Same thing, Adaram Maduram. So this is Krishna's beauty. We will hear more of it in the 10th canto. And that's all, dear devotees. This is how Srila Sukadeva Goswami quickly comes to Lord Krishna. He mentions a little bit about the Puru dynasty and Pandavas and comes to Yadu dynasty and then says, now I'm going to explain to you about this glory of Yadu dynasty and the reasons for the appearance and the result of hearing and how pleasing he is and the pastimes. By this time, dear devotees, he actually explained the whole 10th canto in a nutshell. He said, yeah, Krishna is born as a son of Devaki, and then he was taken to Gokula, and then after that he got married and from Vrindavan to Dwaraka, and then how he killed all the demons, and then how he instructed Arjuna and also Uddhava, and then went back to spiritual realm in his own abode. So he said the whole thing. Sukadeva Goswami, in a nutshell, he told the whole 10th canto in the gist of 10th canto at the end of the 9th canto as a prelude. But Parikshit Maharaj, then would he stay quiet? This little prelude will not be enough for him, right? So what Parikshit Maharaj asked, and then what Sukadeva Goswami recited about the 10th canto will be from the next session. This is just a prelude, dear devotees. This is the completion of 9th canto. Yeah. So, yeah, we can stay in this slide. All of these are wonderful slides, one after the other. Okay, so we will go ahead and summarize the 9th canto, especially today's Kada. Yeah, we'll pack it so we can keep it here, not just here, but in the heart. So 9th canto, Ishanukada, we have heard about the Surya Vamsa. Surya Vamsa is Vaivashvatamanu and Sudyumna, and after that we have heard more about Ambarish Maharaj and then Ikshvaku's sons, in specific about Vikupshi and Mandhata and his son-in-law Shaubhari Muni, and continuing the sons of Ikshvaku were Sagara and Bhagirada and Harishchandra and Lord Ramachandra. That's all Surya Vamsa. And in Chandra Vamsa, we have heard about Buddha, Pururava, Urvashi, and their sons, right? Pururava and Parashurama, right? Son of Jamadagni, who is the son of Satyavati, right? So Pururava and Parashurama, that we have heard in the last episode. And today we have heard the further descendants in Chandravamsha, Yayati. About Yayati and yeah, let's see the take-home points today. Yayati. So Yayati, before Yayati, there was something, right? Yeah, Nahusha. So when the sages are insulted, then that is a precursor to the fall down. Yeah. Pride precedes the fall down. That's Nahusha. And second is Yayati. Coming to Yayati, what were the take-home points? Yeah. take home thoughts. Sarmishta Yayati about the external Guru Giri and Guru Bhogi versus internal Guru Nishtha. Guru Nishtha is the bija for Namruchi. Namruchi is the fountainhead of Jivadaya and Vaishnava Seva. Yeah, that we have heard. And after that, how the Sarmishta, how the anger, how when acted in anger and pride can really make us reap big time results. So anger, the actions and the decisions and actions made with anger and pride can cost us a lot. What goes around comes around. It will come back to us. So that's what Sarmishta's story. That was one thing to note. Yeah, to keep that. And there we have discussed, yes, these waves of pride and anger may come, but that's when the intelligence has to be big. Mind should not take over, but the intelligence have to take over. Intelligence, the Shastra has to take over. And that is how we get to Nishta. Nishta is when the intelligence is big, controlling the mind, we are heading towards Nishta. When the mind is big and intelligence is weak, then there is still a struggle with the anarthas. So our focus is to get our intelligence loud and big. The Vakya of the Sadhu and Shastra, loud and big. So the mind can follow it. So that we have heard. And how the parents and children, right? Shukracharya, he should have just kept the issue of these girls to that level only. So how parents can maturely just keep the children's quarrels to that stage only, but not bring it to the level of parents and not distance the parents also. So the maturity of the parents that we have discussed. And the anger of Sukracharya, but it is covered anyway when the results of the anger. And that's when we have discussed that the intelligence has to be big, not the mind. So that is until, and next comes the 4 kinds of Sishyas, right? The first Sishya knows the mood and the heart of the Guru and does it accordingly. Second kind is the Sishya does it only after the Guru verbalizes it, says it. And the third one is does it when the Guru says it, but not so well. Fourth one is does not do it at all. And there we have heard that when a Sishya does something for Guru, it's for the benefit of the Sishya. Not so much the Guru is not going to have anything about it, but it's more about the benefit of the Sishya. To the degree of servitude and submission, then to that degree will be the revelation. So 4 kinds of Sishyas. That is the episode of Yayati over Puru. And Puru, Shakuntala and Dushyanta and Shakuntala. Yeah, I forgot to mention about the dear devotees. So Bharata, when the Bharata was born, right, to Shakuntala, she takes Bharata, goes to the kingdom, back to Dushyanta to meet him in his kingdom. Initially, Dushyanta could not recognize Shakuntala, and so he could not recall that she is his wife, but the Akashvani says that Shakuntala is your wife and Bharata is your son. So that's how Dushyanta accepts Shakuntala and Bharata, that little piece of information. Okay, so that's done. And Bharata, yes, a great king, but in his lineage comes Ranti Deva. And there we have heard about the mood of Jivadaya. And the same mood was there in Prahlad Maharaj, and Vidura was also mentioning the same. That's when we have heard about Srila Prabhupada, who has lived that mood, a testimony of exactly what Bhagavatam is saying, huh? And when Srila Prabhupada was asked, how is this all possible, Srila Prabhupada? And his answer of Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Kuriya Aikya. Yeah. So, reinforcing the same point again, the Srila Prabhupada's Guru Nishta, that was his bija. That's the bija of ISKCON. His Guru Nishta to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura. So that is the bija of Namaruchi Krishna Rati. And Jivadaya is an integral part of Namaruchi. So that we have heard, Rantideva. And that's it. After that, we quickly came to Pandavas and the other side, Yadu. In the Yadu dynasty, Lord Krishna is appearing and Lord Krishna's Karuna couldn't wait. Jivas were not thinking of him, but the Lord couldn't stop thinking about Jivas. He created the material world. He wanted to come, remind. And how beautifully Srila Prabhupada said that through Bhagavad Gita, just by thinking of the Lord, Dukkha, Shoka, Tamo, Guna are gone. And the result of hearing Krishna Katha, how sweet and addicting is that people don't want to do any karma, only bhakti. Dhunote karma vasanam. All the karma vasana will go away with the sweet and addicting Krishna Katha about the sweet Lord. And how pleasing is his transcendental form. That's the Lord Krishna. And 10th canto next week. Dear devotees, that completes the 9th canto. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Jayata, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya. And my pranams to you all, dear devotees, for your sangha, for your attention. We're doing it together.